Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land, where I bring you those top stories making headlines here in Israel. Of course, our yellow ribbon, just to remind the world that we have not forgotten about the 137 innocent people who are still being held hostage by Hamas, innocent men, women, and children. We want them home. Bring them back now. It is day 59 of Israel's war against Hamas. So let's take a look at the latest updates, and we will be hearing some commentary coming from the neighborhood dog. So please just bear with me. So we have had barrages of rockets continuing to be fired from the Gaza Strip into Israel. Now, yesterday we had a big barrage towards the southern Negev area of Beersheba, Hatzerim Air Base. Also this morning and a short while ago towards Ashkelon, there are initial reports of a direct strike on a building, but no casualties reported as yet. Now, while I'm on the subject of strikes on Ashkelon, Barzilai Hospital is situated in Ashkelon. The hospital has taken 4 direct hits from rockets fired from the Gaza Strip. One direct hit took out 5 operating theatres. Now, you haven't heard a peep from the World Health Organization or the media, and we do recall that incident with the Al Ali Hospital earlier on in this war, when an errant Palestinian Islamic Jihad rocket fell short and landed in the parking lot, and how the global media leapt to decisions that it was the IDF responsible for firing that rocket. Well, I would ask them, where are you when our hospital has been hit 4 times in this war? But just to confirm, it wasn't the hospital hit today, it was a building. It has also been confirmed that 80 Israeli warriors have fallen in defense of the state of Israel. We owe them a debt we can never repay. May their memories be eternally blessed, and our thoughts, our prayers, and our love are with their families. Israeli government spokesperson Eylon Levy announced earlier today, speaking to the media, that we have entered the second phase of the war. This will be very, very tough. He did say that Israel is doing everything we can to ensure that civilians are protected in the Gaza Strip, and he said that the army is open to all suggestions. Now, this is something that has been echoed by other spokesmen, most notably for the IDF, who have said they are doing everything they can. This is a very, very complicated war. It's asymmetrical warfare, and that if there are any suggestions for how better to conduct ourselves as far as civilian casualties are concerned, we will most certainly do that. The IDF is pushing further and further into the Gaza Strip, striking heavily in the towns of Beit Hanun and Khan Yunis. The IDF have also said that they are preparing to flood the tunnels with seawater. Now, we still don't have any distinction or any final numbers on casualties. At this stage of the war, all those statistics are given by the Hamas-run Gazan Ministry of Health. But it is notable that in their statistics that they give, it's always women and children, and of course journalists and aid workers, never ever Hamas terrorists. This is contrary to Israel focusing surgically on Hamas terrorists, who are more often than not dressed in civilian clothing. Yesterday, a monumental event took place at UN headquarters in New York. Here, our voices brought together a variety of speakers from Israel who testified to the brutality of the rapes and murders of Israeli women and girls. Now, the world has been silent, and it took UN Women 57 days to respond and issue a condemnation of the horrific gender-based violence that was forced on our women and children. The testimony is absolutely harrowing. It is shattering and heartbreaking, very, very gruesome, barbaric, and without any shred of dignity for these beautiful women that are our sisters and our daughters. The world has been silent, but we will not be. A White House official has been quoted as saying that Hamas are still holding women as captives, as hostages, and the reason they're not releasing them is that they may actually speak and talk about what has happened to them. We really fear for their safety and for their health, as several of them were sexually assaulted. And here I want to take aim at the Red Cross, who visited Gaza yesterday, spoke mostly about the situation for civilians in Gaza, and as a throwaway comment managed to mention our hostages. You have been absolutely in violation of your mandate. You have not seen to the medical needs of our hostages, especially women who have been sexually assaulted. Meanwhile, Israeli health officials announced earlier today that hostages that were released were given tranquilizers so that they would appear happy and relaxed during their release. The stories that we are getting out are absolutely horrifying, and we know that this is not the full extent, as many of them are still fearing that if they talk too much, it could impact on the safety of those still being held hostage in the tunnels in Gaza. On a personal note, I represent Israel at the International Alliance of Women and managed to mobilize our global federations, our army of female activists, to sign and endorse a letter to the International Alliance of Women, who sent me a response saying, well, they can't get everybody together to issue a response, but they'll say something in their next newsletter. Israeli women are not an agenda item in a newsletter. These were women on the 7th of October, Jewish, Arab, and others, who were brutally tormented, tortured, mutilated, raped, and murdered. We deserve a lot more than an agenda item in a newsletter. As you can hear, I'm extremely irate. I'm a woman, I'm a Jewish woman, an Israeli, and it is just absolutely outrageous, the response or lack thereof that we are facing from the world and from women's organizations. France has announced that they will be freezing all the assets of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. Sinwar remains the most hunted man on the hit list of the Israeli security authorities. Last week, Prime Minister Netanyahu gave them the go-ahead to hunt them down wherever they are and to eliminate them. And finally, some good news, because we so desperately need some good news. Footage was released earlier today of 5-year-old Emilia Aloni, who was held captive by Hamas for 50 days. Well, she has returned to her kindergarten, and what a sight it was to see this gorgeous little girl being welcomed back so emotionally, so warmly by her friends and her teachers, taken to nursery school by her proud grandfather, who must be relieved beyond comprehension that his daughter and his little granddaughter have been returned back to them. Please, may all the hostages be returned soon. We will not forget. And that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief, our Facebook page at Lottel's site, and we're on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Rolene Marks, and take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you again tomorrow.